All right. And in the grand finals of ESL America's Open Cup number 91, after a tumultuous semifinals, which started out incredible with ToD versus Insup, got a little dicey with Hitman versus Uriel. We are now heading into a much anticipated grand final, the dream grand final, some have called it, of ToD versus Hitman, best of 5, ESL America's Cup number 91, coming at you, game 1 on Northern Isles. And we have ToD opening up Archmage as expected. Going to see Hitman with his very deadly Farseer Headhunters. Farseer Headhunters, very difficult to deal with as human. Very curious to see how ToD can stack up against it. It is not easy. I'll definitely be taking some notes as I struggled with Farseer Headhunters myself, albeit at a much, much, much lower skill level than this. It's still tricky nonetheless. Farseer is out, so are the Feral Spirits. Headhunters will be next. And as expected, ToD going to try to go for a big starting camp to try to get level 2. Only bringing over 5 militia. 1 unfortunately gets ensnared. Now the goal here is to get level 2 as soon as possible to be able to deal with the Headhunter push, and Hitman respecting his opponent, knowing he's going to need all the help he can get, knowing he will need Chain Lightning.
The player's forces are under attack.
Is going to opt to creep a little bit to start. ToD continuing on with the creep route. Finishing up the Murloc camp. Hitman venturing across Northern Isles. We'll finally meet ToD for the first time this game. Farseer, level 2. Has the Chain Lightning, going to be able to close off some of these footman kills. Feral Spirits right-clicked onto the Archmage, forcing ToD to continually move. Will be stutter stepping, get as much damage out onto these Feral Spirits as possible. Farseer continuing to do some damage onto the Footman army. Headhunters now here to join the fray. Dealing tons of damage to these Murlocs. Water Elementals now taking a bit of damage as well. Almost tried to get the deny. Not quite. Experience goes to Hitman.
A player's forces are under attack.
ToD going to finally get a little bit of surface area on these Headhunters. And now you're seeing ToD going to try to take control of this game now. Go on the offensive. And maybe go for the Tuskar camp. Was he going to go for the double consume? Has the potion of invulnerability. Going to get some damage onto the Feral Spirits, but Hitman is just one resummon away from getting rid of that. ToD able to pull Hitman away, is going to be able to get some breathing room to militia creep. Lumbermill coming on up tier 2, about 60% done. Hitman's about 85% done, so close to done. ToD going to try to get some surface area on the main base. Has a Voodoo Lounge that can be canceled. That'd be a big cancel for ToD if he could get it. But instead, going to pass on by.
A player's forces are under attack.
Curious to see what ToD decides to do here. This is a very tough matchup. Hitman introducing what he likes to do very often, adding one grunt to the mix. Every Orc player has their own flavor. Just a pinch of a grunt or two into the army. Really helps out with tanking. Hitman moving those Feral Spirits into a safer position right into the Scorpion camp. Meanwhile, Farseer getting some damage done onto the Archmage, onto the Footies, getting the Panda. Panda will certainly help, dealing a lot of AoE damage to this backline. Archmage getting a lot of damage onto the Spirit Wolves. The Feral Spirits, the first Breath of Fire of the game. Just barely singeing the thick skin of the Troll Headhunters. Torrent Chieftain is out and looking to get level 2.
A player's forces are under attack.
Archmage Panda going to go for the Marketplace. And as Hitman always likes to do, Hitman loves to solo creep with the Torrent Chieftain and harass with whatever other hero he's using, whether it's the Farseer or the Blade Master. Very difficult to do, but if you can pull it off, there's a lot of benefit. Archmage gets the level 3. Panda looking to get level 2 from this Natural Expo. Defend online, going to be able to withstand a lot of this extra damage from the Trapper. Archmage taking a lot of damage from the Farseer and the Feral Spirits. Double Sanctum online already. Have the Priest. The Priests are stuck at home, healing up the backline. Not sure if this was a misrally. Sure, you would love to have the Priest right here, right now. More Priest coming, still rank 0. Doesn't have Dispel quite yet. But he also doesn't need it just yet. Hitman respecting this, going 1 Wyvern, as we've seen him do quite often. Goes the 1 Wyvern. Got 2 Shamans, Headhunters, Grunts, Farseer, Tauren. Very scary army comp, but ToD finally evening the score with some casters of his own. Has some of the boys called. Unfortunately, the Archmage is going to get roasted by a Chain Lightning. And a really nicely placed War Stop. This Torrent Chieftain looking really scary right now. Has the gauntlets, has the ring, has the Ankh. And 1,000 health. How do you take this Torrent Chieftain down? The only answer, really, is a surround from some breakers. That's the only way. Militia are being called again. No more gold, really, to spend on the Arcane Sanctum. And another nice War Stomp by the Torrent Chieftain. Another Chain Lightning to follow that up. Panda trying to get some surface area. Torrent Chieftain is slowed, has the Lightning Shield. Going to help deal quite a bit of damage to anyone who tries to surround the Torrent Chieftain. Militia now falling, Footies falling behind that. Torrent Chieftain, another vicious War Stomp onto the Militia, onto the Priest. Only a couple casters left. Wyvern going to get some surface area onto the casters as well. The Headhunter Wyvern combination going to be able to just disintegrate any casters in their way. Some of the boys being called. Footies with defend. Archmage being resummoned. And Hitman looking quite strong in this early mid-game. And this is part of the struggle of playing human versus Farseer Headhunters. Has 1 Dragonhawk Rider. Potentially even pivoting to Griffins. Hitman going for the shot. Bought the Scroll of Healing. Also has the invulnerability. Potion. Rune Bracers going onto the Torrent Chieftain, just becoming tankier and tankier. Panda finally gets to level 3, going to have level 2 Breath of Fire paired with the Drunken Haze. This is really where you can finally swing the battle. A level 3 Panda against an Orc army, very deadly. Very strong, very potent. Able to cast the Drunken Haze onto the backline. Headhunters deal almost 50% less damage because they're missing half the time for about 12 seconds, I believe. Pair that with a damage over time Breath of Fire, and a couple of those onto the backline of the Headhunters is going to spell the end of the Orcs' damage output. Cloak of Flame is going to go to the Panda, is going to be quite strong as the Panda tries to get surface area on the Orc army, but Hitman breaking upkeep almost immediately, up at 62 supply right now. The signature Hitman army with the 1 Wyvern, the 1 Grunt, 2 Kodos going to try to eat some breakers if they decide to show up. And now finally, ToD getting the Priest Adept training for rank 1. Sorks do have it also and are going to be able to help save some units with invisibility. Dragonhawk is here to aerial shackle any Wyverns who get in the path. 62 supply army of Hitman showing up. ToD respecting this, backing off immediately. Has the Invis Footy. Invis Footy now reveals itself. Torn Chieftain level 4, so strong. 1,025 health, a nice war stop. Only able to get a couple units, has the Lightning Shield. Panda able to get some surface area. Breath of Fire onto a lot of the backline. Shaman starting to fall quite low. 2 Footies now, 3 Footies going to pay the price. Sorcerer's now getting ensnared, also going to fall. ToD falls to 42 food. A 70 supply Hitman army is pushing forward into the Expo of ToD. Hitman with an Expo of his own behind this. It's looking very grim for our human champion ToD. ToD able to withstand this attack for the time being. We'll get the Arcane Vault up, and maybe, just maybe, this is where ToD can swing the battle. ToD knows where Hitman is. Hitman's at the Expo, bought the salve, gonna heal up the army and potentially prepare for another attack. Still have this red camp up for grabs. I'm sure we're gonna see it taken soon enough, but Hitman has his eyes on the Expo, wants to break it before ToD gets any momentum. Hitman knows if the human can get into the late game with a very strong army composition, it's going to be a big deal. Spellbreakers now on the map. I don't believe they have control magic just yet.
Town is under siege.
Invisibility cast on the Water Elemental. We'll see what the Water Elemental is up to. Probably just going to scout Hitman for the time being. But Hitman going down south, going for the main base. Going to be able to take out the Arcane Vault with ease. Spellbreakers entering the battle. Sorceresses being trained. More casters on the way. 1 Water Elemental going back to the main base. Going to be able to help take care of these, but these are just going to be resummoned any second now. Farseer back down at the main base. Hitman so efficient, so good at hit and running. Burning. Right now, the Breath of Fire able to catch those units. Scroll speed pop. Hitman trying to get into position. Grunt finally making his way to the backline. Torn Chieftain, a nice war stop and a lightning shield able to deal quite a bit of damage. It is quickly dispelled. Panda able to get a lot of surface area onto this backline. Finally takes care of that Wyvern, and the Grunt soon to fall as well. Dragonhawk Rider also down. Farseer has quite a bit of health left. Archmage getting stunned. Has to be very careful as the Chain Lightning rips through the backline of ToD's army. Panda getting some surface area onto the Headhunters. Backing off for the time being. 43 supply army of ToD is not looking good against this 78 supply army of Hitman. If the Panda just had a little bit more mana, there'd be so many units that would fall to a Breath of Fire. The Archmage going to pop the TP. It looks like the Panda might be able to get out of here just in time. Back at the Expo, the units, trying to get healed up as much as they possibly can. So many weak units for Hitman. Breath of Fire doing so much work to the army, but it just might not be enough. Now at 79 supply, Hitman never took his foot off the gas. Didn't waste any time breaking upkeep, but keep in mind there are a lot of wounded units. A couple well-placed Breaths of Fire from this Panda could really turn the game around. And you're going to see your first one coming up right now. Nice Breath of Fire takes down one Headhunter, but Panda takes so much damage from the Torn Chieftain. Torn Chieftain is incredibly strong right now. Has the Invuln Pot, has the Ankh. Swallowing their first Spellbreaker of the game. This Kodo Beast has a full belly. Going to start digesting the Spellbreakers. 36 supply army of ToD on his last legs.
Forces are under attack.
Another ensnare on the Sorceress. Torn Chieftain making his way to the back. Does get the Panda stun. Does get the last caster stun. One more Wyvern on the field. Panda and Archmage duo making their way back to the Expo. GG is called. Well played. Hitman takes game one. Very well played by... Oh, shit. What's the game name? Oh, my God. I'm probably going to miss it now. Oh. Hopefully I can get into this. Fingers crossed. Come on, baby. This game takes so long to load. Whew. Got it. All right. Really good game by... Why does this say 2-0? That's not right. It's 0-1. So very great game by Hitman. Strong showing. Again, so difficult for humans to deal with the Farseer Headhunters, especially at the level of a Hitman. And you know I'm taking notes. I'm trying to figure out how ToD handles this. How does one of the best human players handle this? Because I need to know. I need to know too. And it doesn't look good. But hopefully ToD can pull out another trick out of his big bag of tricks that he has in his back pocket. Doing the quick militia pull over. Build the altar. Hitman up 1-0. And we're going to last refuge for game 2. A really strong showing from Hitman last game. Came in strong. Crept a little bit up front. Didn't spend much time going for the immediate harass. Instead, opted to do a little creeping in the beginning. Respected the amount of power he would need to take down ToD's early army. Waited for the Chain Lightning to be available. And then decided that was the time to push. No surprises here. Going to be seeing Farseer Headhunters again. Such a strong combo against human in particular. The first footman sent out. Our scout footy is out. Gonna loop around last refuge. And our Archmage is out. Going to see the first creep camp of the game. Gonna be going for the footy pull.
A player's forces are under attack.
Nicely done. Going to get the Troll Shadow Priest. This map a little bit better to deal with Farseer Headhunters. You will have the Shadow Priest, will be able to get some Dispels onto the Wolves. Bringing the Shadow Priest up immediately to get some Dispel. No more Wolves, and trying to snipe this as well. Not going to be able to get it. Hitman just has enough to secure that kill, and almost a creep steal by the Shadow Priest from ToD. That would have been big. Making Hitman spend a little bit more mana than he would like. This Shadow Priest going to be really helpful here. Where is the Shadow Priest? Is it dead? Nope, back here. Okay. And to make this Shadow Priest even better, you got to have that Brilliance Aura. So ToD's going to be looking for that fast level 2 as soon as possible. Get that Brilliance Aura onto the Shadow Priest. There it is.
A player's forces are under attack.
Be able to deal with these Wolves. A lot of Sentry Wards going to Hitman. Hitman going to have quite a bit of vision. Bringing over the boys. Going to be able to creep out the Merc camp. Going to build a farm down as well. And it's going to be ready to hire a Troll Berserker. Oh no, and there goes the Shadow Priest. But before his death was able to take down one of the Wolves. No more mana left for the Farseer. So ToD going to be in pretty good shape for the rest of the early game here. Now has level 3. The level 2 Water Elemental's online. ToD waiting to cast Water Elemental until he had the level 2 upgrade. But now the critical mass of Headhunters is on the field. I believe Defend just finished training. Humans like to do that after the 4th Footman. Defend now on the field. The focus fire onto the Water Elementals. Hitman able to kite back. And Hitman's so effective at this hit and run play.
A player's forces are under
Now
attack.
6 Headhunters on the field. The 29 supply army of Hitman just looks so incredibly strong. 6 Headhunters this early in the game is so powerful. 1 Militia trying to distract will pay the price. Another Shadow Priest on the field. Gonna be able to get some healing and a nice deny by ToD.
A player's forces are under attack.
Defend Footmen making their way back. Want to turn that Defend off. Panda available. Panda is the modern hero of choice against Farseer Headhunters. I've been seeing success with him as well. No Tauren Chieftain this time. Going to see the Shadow Hunter. Quickly trying to get some XP snipes from the creep camp. Unfortunately, one of the ogres is going to get fed on over to Hitman. Nice breath of fire onto the Headhunters. Taking a little bit of damage already. And a couple more breaths of fires right behind all of this. Toma's strength is going to be really nice onto the Panda. Nice breath of fire onto the back line of the Headhunters. Headhunters taking quite a bit of damage with the help of the creeps. Ensnaring one of them. Panda going to get another breath of fire potentially onto this Headhunter backline. The Panda going to be trying to get as much breath of fire onto the Headhunters as possible. Is going to be able to get a nice one. Going to cancel a bunch of the salves as well. And now the Headhunters finally in dangerous territory. ToD able to make some momentum. Hitman being forced back. Peons being pulled off of the wood to fix up the Voodoo Lounge. Voodoo Lounge in threat of being canceled. A lot of repair from the 5 peons right now, but no wood incoming for Hitman. Hitman only has 1 peon on wood at the moment. A Hex onto the Panda. Panda going to get a nice breath of fire onto a couple of these Headhunters in the back. Farseer trying to roll on through. Bought a couple items on his path. Getting a lot of damage onto this Panda. Panda does have the big consume. And will be using it where he can. 1 Headhunter falls. ToD finally starting to get a couple kills. Panda has enough mana for another Breath of Fire. So many Breaths of Fire onto these backline Headhunters. Archmage needs to get another bullet. Does get it. Footy also with the long-range sword. Not quite enough damage output from the 2 footmen and the water elemental, but what ToD has done is disrupt the macro just enough. He's down quite a bit of wood, but in return, ToD pays the price with a footman. A nice Hex going to be able to seal the deal on this footy. 2 footies down. ToD going to work. ToD finally has the breathing room and the momentum he needs. Hitman smells blood in the water. Another footman going to be claimed thanks to Hex. Not a lot of mana left for healing. Needs to be a little cautious in this push right now, as the Panda has plenty of Breaths of Fire. No mana pots in the inventory for the Panda, so not as many as I'd originally thought. Hitman gonna pop a speed scroll and be in control of the game. The pendulum of Hitman back and forth, the hit and run. Has the sorceresses, has the priests. Sorks level 0, priests level 0. Going to need to spell soon. Will help tremendously with the wolves. Although Hitman going for level 2 Chain Lightning. Perhaps presuming the early training of Dispel. ToD not opting to train Dispel right away. And in fact, ToD potentially going to go for an Expo here as well. If ToD could secure this Expo, he'll be in a really great spot in about 3 minutes from now. Hitman going to back off for the time being. Has Berserkers, has the upgrade. Slow finally being cast on some of these Headhunters. The Berserker's going to start taking quite a bit of damage. Turning back around, nice Breath of Fire from the Panda. Panda gets a snare. Panda taking a lot of damage, pops the invulnerability scroll. Scroll speed. Popped by Hitman. Bought some clarities, bought some salves, and is gonna head on over. Unsure if he wants to take the lap. Now is going to head down. ToD doesn't want to go for the greedy red just yet. Instead, gonna go for the gargantuan sea turtle camp, but has to be very, very careful. Does not want to get caught in here. ToD has a scroll of TP, but that would set him back so much. Not what he needs right now. Torn Chieftain is out as the 3rd hero for the Orc. ToD trying to balance being in a good position versus finishing off this creep camp. Chooses not to overextend. Panda getting ensnared again. Does not have an invulnerability pot, but has the big heal potion, which he just consumed for 500 health. Getting a lot of damage onto this Farseer. No way for Hitman to dispel slow at the moment. These heroes are going to be slowed down and moving back home at a snail's pace. If ToD can get more surface area with the sorceresses, he can get some damage done. But what is ToD doing behind all this? He was doing all this to secure the Expo. ToD knows. So does Hitman. That's what this was for. Both players so experienced in this matchup. Sorcerers in Viz, in good position to potentially get a preemptive slow. Sorcerers now in the backline, going to be able to get some good surface area. Nice Breath of Fire and Drunken Haze from the Panda. Panda falling quite low. Panda needs to be extremely careful now. Panda being focus fired. Panda now Hex. Panda is going to fall. Chain Lightning seals the deal on the Panda. Now only an Archmage remains on the heroes of ToD. Footy's able to get some surface area onto the medium armor composition of Hitman. Footy's able to deal quite a bit of damage to the Raiders and to the Berserkers. Berserkers taking a lot of damage and also not dealing a lot of damage because they are all slowed. If you're wondering why ToD still has units in this battle, it's because all of the DPS of the Orc player is slowed. ToD 48 supply, Hitman 50 supply. Neither player breaking up, keep bringing the sorcerers back to rebuy the Panda. Panda pops the heal, the mana potion. Breaths of Fire, Drunken Haze onto the back line. Berserkers almost takes the Shadow Hunter. But not quite. That would have been a huge kill for the human player. Hitman able to get out of there just in time. Has about 8 Berserkers, a Kodo Beast. I would imagine we'll see another Raider coming out. Yep, there he is for that lockdown. ToD trying to get some power spikes of his own. Has now the level 2 Breath of Fire. Pair that with the Drunken Haze, you're going to start seeing some damage from the Panda. ToD now finally breaking upkeep. Sitting at 55 supply. Hitman not choosing to break upkeep just yet. ToD now going to go for the red camp. ToD getting some good opportunities to creep. Has plenty of breathing room. Not sure if ToD knows exactly where Hitman is, but feels confident he's able to take this creep camp right now. What will he get from the Ogre Lord? Helm of Valor. Not the best item in the lot, but not the worst. +5 to strength and agility on the Panda. That is a beefy Panda. Denies the footy as Spellbreakers enter the battle. More footies also joining. Defend Footy's going to be able to withstand a lot of the piercing damage from the Berserkers. And if they're slow, the Footies can actually catch them. ToD going to go for the Laboratory. This is going to pretty much wrap up the creeping of Last Refuge. There's one more creep camp here and one more over here, but this is the money one right here. Helm of Valor goes to Torn Chieftain as well. So Helm's going to both
forces are under attack.
strength heroes. Not horrible. Not incredible. Toma retraining. ToD going to take Blizzard. Very interesting. Perhaps Blizzard Breath of Fire is the wombo combo needed to take down the Farseer Headhunters. ToD smells blood, has the 71 food army thanks to the expo. That's been up for a while. Hitman, no expo, no economic advantage whatsoever. Gonna put up the tiny Great Hall behind all of this. ToD looking to make some progress. Blizzard forcing some zoning. Going to force these Headhunters to relocate. Now, ToD able to do so much damage. If he can get a tiny Great Hall canceled, that would be a lot of money down the drain. ToD still controlling all of the zoning capabilities with Blizzard right now. Going to Blizzard down the peons. Tiny Great Hall now just completely vanished. All of those resources sunk cost. GG is called. Very well played by ToD. And we're going to Game 3, all tied up. ToD with a very strong performance. And putting on a clinic of how humans can potentially beat Farseer Headhunters at the highest level. So if you're a struggling human going up against Farseer Headhunters, that's a game you want to watch. Game 2 of ToD versus Hitman. right, and we are in game 3. Just have to clear up one quick thing. All right, and we are going into game 3, all tied up. Hitman versus ToD. This is the grand final you've all been waiting for. And game 3 is going to be played on Tidehunters. Now, this game could go a little bit differently as there's no Merc Camp. Merc Camp really strong against Orc. Also pretty strong against Night Elf. I guess it's just strong in general, because you could use it in human and undead matchups also as a human player. But this map will certainly be different. What will ToD do this time? He already knows what's coming. He knows it's Farseer Headhunters. Archmage coming out. Farseer also on the way. This says 4 out of 5, but I think that's bugged. Yeah, I think this is bugged. This looks like 5. Oh, maybe it was. It looked like 5. Maybe it's not. All right.
A player's
I was
forces
wrong.
are under attack.
Taking down the Sea Giant right away before any pulverizers go up. No AoE, RNG that ToD has to deal with now. Fortunately for ToD, gets the ring. But that's how it goes when you're ToD. But not much of a better item for Hitman. Gets the gauntlets. Bringing no militia over. Gonna just take this out with a handful of footies and some water elementals. Hitman gonna go creep up some of the green camps around ToD's side of the map to make sure he doesn't have any easy time creeping this out. Although we do know that ToD likes to get this camp next on Tidehunters, especially when fast expoing, as many humans do. Hitman now has arrived. 1 Headhunter and Feral Spirits now summoned. Gonna be able to steal that Murloc as ToD retreats back home. ToD does not want to overextend, knows how important it is to have all these footmen be available. Gonna go defend after the 5th footy. This time. Feels he needs a little extra pressure, a little extra presence from the melee front line. And again, Hitman's so effective at stutter stepping with all of his units, not just the Farseer, but the Feral Spirits, also the Headhunters. And he said it before in interviews, maximizing that damage with stutter stepping increases your damage output a lot.
Player's forces
It's all those attention to little details like that that separate the good from the best. Archmage taking quite a bit of damage from the Feral Spirits. Feral Spirits going to sacrifice themselves into the creep camp. Footies now have defend, but are quite wounded. ToD's going to need to shop sooner rather than later. Defend trying to reflect back some of the piercing damage of these Headhunters, but now a Grunt coming to even the score on the front line. Grunt can be able to soak up a ton of damage. Archmage taking so much damage from the focus fire of Hitman. Archmage taking the long way around. Need to have a shop up for ToD soon. Gonna need that scroll of regeneration. Tier 2 about to be finished from ToD.
Players'
Tier
forces
2 is
are under
already
attack.
done for Hitman. Down goes the Spirit Lodge and the Bestiary. Footman going, you already know what's coming. It's going to be the Panda. Panda with the first breath of fire of the game. Going to get some good damage onto the Headhunters. Headhunters retreat back home, and a salve will take care of it. Meanwhile, Archmage looking to get level 3 off the next 2 creep camps. Not going to get it here,
A player's forces are under attack.
but going to pick up that nice mantle. Maybe even sell the ring or give it to the Panda. Double Sanctum's coming on up. Would love to see an Arcane Vault come up soon as well. So some good split creeping here from ToD, able to take down the remainder of the shop and the adjacent green camp. Now going for the laboratory. Meanwhile, Hitman going for the null camp. I think a little late Tauren Chieftain here. Smidge late. I feel like this Tauren Chieftain wasn't trained as soon as it possibly could. I think Hitman instead went for the earlier Bestiary Spirit Lodge. So we'll see how that pays off. Meanwhile, ToD does secure the level 2 and the level 3 big power spike for the human. Definitely need to get this down and get this army regenerated. A nice scroll of regeneration. 3 out of those footmen would be full healed. Priests are also going to be able to take care of that as well. And now the real Farseer is in the mix. Tauren Chieftain on his journey to get level 3 as well. Hitman doing what he does best, split creeping and harassing with the Farseer with the level 2 Chain Lightning, not opting to go for the Feral Spirits. He knows they'll easily be taken care of by the Dispel from the Priest. Goes for the stronger Chain Lightning. Also going to try to snipe this creep as well, and is not going to be in there to get it. Breath of Fire from the Panda was there to secure the kill as well. Hitman is going to be able to secure that, but now the Sorks are here to get slow. If Sorks can get up ahead, you're going to see ToD pull these Sorks ahead to recast slow. But Farseer is going to have plenty of speed, and if he needs to, has the scroll of either one of those to get out. Speed scroll and the TP.
A player's forces are under attack.
More slow onto the Farseer. Farseer taking quite a bit of chunk damage from the Archmage. Archmage going to continue to follow it. Force some distance in between the Farseer and the creeping army of ToD. ToD also going to be able to get that much closer to level 3, and will certainly get there with this giant sea turtle camp.
A player's forces are under attack.
Tauren Chieftain gets to level 3, has 2 rings and a gauntlets. Tauren Chieftain looking very tanky right now. 9 armor and just about 1,000 health. ToD, instead of going for the gold mine, going to go for the red camp. The Illusion Farseer sees what's going on. ToD trying to close out this Murloc, gets the Ankh reincarnation, and now this Panda is that much scarier. Has the Pendant of Energy, a big time item for the Panda. Belt of Giant Strength +6 and the ring plus an Ankh. This Panda is going to be very, very difficult to take down and has plenty of Breaths of Fire and Drunken Haze in the bag. Double Sanctum continuing to produce Sorks and Priests, and a Griffin Aviary coming out. Potentially a Dragonhawk to deal with this Wyvern. Maybe even a couple Griffins as well. And our Dragonhawk Rider, as expected, coming on out, will help deal with the one Wyvern presence that Hitman also often likes to do. ToD trying to figure out what is next in the creeping map. Expo coming up for both players. Expo is up already for Hitman. Now Control Magic on the field, going to be able to start stealing some of these Feral Spirits, and now ToD going to turn the Wolves on Hitman, use them to scout. Hitman now has visibility of the Expo, but not any longer, as both Wolves are now under control of ToD. 50 supply to 57 supply. ToD with the disadvantage at the moment. And here we go. Hitman here to pressure the Expo. Panda in good position to get Drunken Haze and Breath of Fire onto the backline. Only got a couple of Headhunters, though. One of them may fall. Aerial Shackles onto the Wyvern. Wyvern now immobilized. Chain Lightning ripping through the backline. Torrent Chieftain with War Stomp and Lightning Shield onto the backline. Going to get plenty of damage. Panda also finally able to get some surface area onto the back. Kodo Beast able to eat a Spellbreaker. Archmage looking to re-summon a Water Elemental any second now with a couple more mana. Farseer has plenty of mana in the bank and is going to be using it with a lot of Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning ripping through the backline of ToD, and not much left standing for the human army. Torrent Chieftain now getting level 4 as he is pressing into the back of the Expo. ToD will be looking to reposition back to that Arcane Tower if he can. Also wants to free the Spellbreaker and will do so with one more auto attack. Does get it and denied by Hitman, so no XP, but the Spellbreaker is released. I heard Control Magic go off, but not sure where the Wolf went. And unfortunately, now the Panda will pop an invulnerability. Has the Ankh as well. Might be able to kill the Farseer, has a invuln pot of his own. Panda falls, and he's not going to be able to get out. Oh, no. But the Zeppelin going to be able to come and pick him up and snare it down, and the Panda going to be killed off by Hitman. Unfortunate timing of the Scroll of Teleportation from ToD. And this looks like the beginning of the end for our human champion. Very tough break for ToD. Things were looking up. Things were looking good. And unfortunately, took a turn for the worst.
A player's forces are under attack.
Now Hitman looking to seal the deal at the Expo. Nice War Stomp hit. Oh, now the Archmage ensnared. Going to be Chain CC, Chain Stun, Invulnerability, Invisibility. Nothing is going to help. Chain Lightning now ripping through the backline of the human army. ToD doesn't have much left. Well played, called by ToD. 2-1 Hitman. Whoo, man. What a series, what a series. Hitman up 2-1. ToD hanging on. Playing as best he can. Got some unfortunate timing and luck there. But now we go to Shallow Grave. And what do we have in common between Shallow Grave and Last Refuge? The Merc Camp. So will that be the difference maker in this matchup? Is the Merc Camp really the end-all be-all to even the score? I'm about to find out. All right, just catching up on a couple things right now. Looks like everything is set up and situated. just setting up some games for tomorrow. But we have our big-time grand final going on right now. Hitman is up 2-1. And we're going to Game 3 on Shallow Grave. I think an overall well-played game by ToD last game, and unfortunately, Hitman had a really nice timing on the expo. Also, unfortunate scroll of TP timing from ToD as well. The panda died right in the middle of the scroll and was not able to bring the panda home in safety. That was a big kill for Hitman, able to take out the panda twice. We'll see how things change this game, as I'm sure ToD will be going for this Merc camp quite early. We know how helpful that Shadow Priest can be against Orc. And our first scout footy heading on out. Farseer Archmage. As expected, Farseer going to go for the easier orange camp, as is ToD. ToD going to bring 5 militia. Hitman does get the chain lightning pull. Will help him creep this. And very good usage of the lightning shield. A little bit harder with all the units you have here as human, but if you can get it done right, as you can see, Hitman creeping with barely anything. And Hitman no headhunters this game. Very interesting. I wonder why. Feeling Farseer Grunts as an opener. Quite a bit stronger. Also, going to get the earlier tech. Not as much invested in the War Mill. Going to have a little bit more lumber to spare. ToD going to be able to clean up the remainder of this assassin camp.
Players' forces are under attack.
Hitman gonna keep the pressure on, keep damaging these footmen. ToD does get the deny, no experience. That might have been very close to, if not, level 2 for Hitman. A very big power spike for the Farseer. Late arcane tower for ToD, unfortunately going to pull off all the peasants. Going to be able to salvage the footy. Nice deny. Meanwhile, ToD continuing to creep. Needs to maximize all the breathing room time that he has. Going to continue with this blacksmith. Might have one extra peasant at the mine. Oh, finally does get it taken care of. And a farm put in the back. Hitman putting some more pressure onto the Archmage. Archmage stuck. Does get 3 points surrounded. Gonna need to TP out of here. Needs to watch out. If there was level 2, would have been much more dangerous with the chain lightning threat, and now has it. So it's gonna have to operate a little more cautiously going forward. These grunts so strong in the early game. 700 health, 18 to 21 damage. Archmage has to be incredibly careful right now. The Farseer is hunting. As soon as that Farseer finds this Archmage, he could be in striking distance. Has the Shadow Priest, gonna be chain healing. Get this Archmage into healthy levels to not be one-shot by chain lightning, and now finally he's there. Toma Strength going to help as well. Going to build a farm here and tell this peasant to head on back home. Chain Lightning going to be able to seal the deal on one of those footmen. Meanwhile, Farseer is going to try to stutter step and take out this Troll Shadow Priest. Troll Shadow Priest is such a big unit to have in the early game. You definitely want to keep it alive as long as possible. It does get denied, but it's really a big loss at the end of the day. You want to keep that Shadow Priest alive. Yes, as stated,
A player's
Franz
forces
Beck.
are under attack.
Very nice observation. Yes, better items for ToD this time. Claws and Mantle. Not terrible items for the Farseer. Does have the Circlet, and now has the level 3. Have been seeing Hitman go level 2 Chain Lightning, and this time going to go level 2 Feral Spirits. ToD going for rifles, typically the counter to grunts. If you can get a lot of slow, a lot of rifles, maybe even inner fire rifles. No need for the Panda this time. Can safely use the Mountain King. And Stormbolt's going to really help secure some of those grunt kills. Grunt kills are so much more valuable than headhunter kills. And as Hitman always likes to do, bring the Farseer, follow your opponent around, try to snipe some creep kills. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain creeps alone with the army. He does this so much with the Blade Master, he also does it with the Farseer. And Hitman potentially looking for him. Maybe missed him back here. Now knows where he's going. Gonna follow this priest into the main army. And now Hitman gonna be able to do a lot of damage to this Archmage. Also a lot of damage to this priest.
A player's forces are under attack.
Priest gonna try to heal up the hero health as much as possible. Tauren Chieftain continuing to creep up this army. Hitman paying attention to everything all over the map. Backs the Shaman up to not die. Meanwhile, continuing to focus on harassing ToD's army. ToD trying to get some breathing room. Going to lose a footman due to the ensnare from the creeps. Priests still don't have Dispel quite yet to be able to deal with these level 2 Feral Spirits. Not being trained yet either. It's going to be a bit tougher to get that early when you have rifles also coming out. Level 3 Tauren Chieftain on the field now. Tome of Retraining, or is that a Book of the Dead on the Mountain King? That's going to be quite helpful. Also, Wand of Mana Stealing, also very good. Going to be able to keep the Farseer under a certain mana threshold to not be able to cast spells. Crystal Ball as well. Likely used on the main base. Didn't quite see. Oh, going to be used on the Expo. Confirms no Expo up for Hitman. Oh, Hitman gets the Ankh. That's a beefy Tauren Chieftain now. Has the Invuln Pot, has the Heal Scroll, and the Ankh, and the Talisman of Evasion. This is a very scary Tauren Chieftain right now. Mountain King buys all the relevant items that he needs, gets the scroll, gets the Invuln Pot. Purge going out onto the Rifleman. Rifleman will fall quickly. Tauren Chieftain, a nice Thunderclap, level 2 Thunderclap. Going to be able to get some good surface area on those grunts. But the Mountain King falling quickly, going to pop an Invuln Pot of his own. It's just enough to push Hitman's army back as he focuses on the lone Rifleman. No Sorks out yet for ToD. Those Sorks are going to be so helpful against the all-grunt army of Hitman. Shaman going to have to purge one by one the slow effect. Rifles also really good at dealing with Shaman. Mountain King going to pull the ripcord and get out of here immediately. One more Rifleman falls. A lot of Rifleman losses for ToD. If he could have kept those 2 to 3 Riflemen alive, he would have been in really good shape right now. Now down to 42 supply. ToD needs to get his second Arcane Sanctum up and a couple Sorks as well. Not much gold to go around. Without the Expo, you don't have as much expendable resources to bolster your army. Meanwhile, Hitman's Tauren Chieftain getting scarier and scarier by the minute. Farseer up to level 3, still opting to creep this Torrent Chieftain up exclusively to level 5. Once he's up to level 5, he just basically becomes borderline unkillable.
Players' forces are under attack.
Same can be said for the Mountain King. Thunderclap going to be used on the creep, slowing them down, dealing quite a bit of damage. Medallion of Courage, Strength, and Intelligence. Mountain King going to pick that up, a little extra mana and quite a bit of extra health and attack damage. Hitman backed up, avoided most of the shockwave. Torrent Chieftain now here to soak up a lot of this XP. War Stomp down onto the creeps, stunning almost all of them. Another nice shockwave from the Overlord. Let's see what item Hitman gets. Can't quite see. Helm of Valor going with strength and agility. Let's see the Torrent Chieftain put this helmet on, potentially. As ToD wants to control the game. Running by the Expo, making sure there's still no Expo up for Hitman. Doesn't see it. Has the Sorks back at home ready to go and upgrading rank 1.
A town is under siege.
Has the Priest at rank 1 finally going to be able to deal with those Feral Spirits. Going to be able to try to take down one burrow, and that's going to help out quite a bit as now Hitman is supply blocked.
A player's forces are under attack.
So that was a nice kill. Burrow. Four Sorks now on the field for ToD. They're soon going to have rank 1 upgrade as well. Just finished up. 100 more mana for the Sorks. More mana regen and more health.
A player's forces are
Now
under
ToD's
attack.
army fully healed up. 48 supply. Hitman still supply blocked at the moment at 51. Gonna need another burrow to come up, and it's in progress. ToD building an Arcane Vault. Surprisingly, a second one. It's quite interesting. Feels maybe he's going to need it
A town is under siege.
for a big defense.
A player's forces are under attack.
The invisible Archmage buys things. I don't know if Hitman saw that, but bought 2 scrolls and the Toma retraining. Saw a lot of success when he retrained to Blizzard. He's going to get a cancel on this Town Hall. Not sure if he has enough damage to get it done. Now the scroll speed popped. Going to get a War Stomp onto the Archmage. Going to get it stunned, but he has a scroll TP to get out of here. So not in any immediate threat. But going to need to pop it sooner rather than later before he gets War Stomped and stunned to death. Using a Storm Bolt, going to secure some of these wolf kills, and they're resummoned right away. Hitman does not want to feed any more XP over to ToD. And now pretty much all of the map is crept out. We have a farm up here, getting visibility, not quite in range of the lab.
A player's forces are under attack.
But it is a good scout farm to be able to see a lot of visibility. More Feral Spirits continuing to harass any straggler human units that aren't with the main army. But ToD knows what he needs to do. He needs to get an Expo up. Or make an attack soon. The longer this game goes, the deeper into the advantageous category it will be for Hitman. And here we go. ToD knows what he has to do, knows he has to get it done now. Torn Chieftain in great position, invisibility. Nice war stomp, invisibility also used onto the Archmage. Archmage getting in better position. A nice thunderclap by the Mountain King. Blizzard now going out onto the whole backline of Hitman. Some nice zoning capabilities, but the Torn Chieftain continuing to move forward, getting a war stomp onto the backline. A lot of healing used, heal scroll used by the Archmage. More Blizzard continuing to be used, and a heal scroll pop from Hitman as well. War stomp continuing to be used. Dispelled, lightning shield dispelled off of the Torn Chieftain. The Torn Chieftain trying to make his way back. 52 supply to 67 supply. ToD's army is falling quickly. More Blizzard being used onto the Farseer. Hitman also falling quickly, uses an Invuln pot. MK quite low on health, needs to be careful. Grunt going to fall, but now the focus fire onto the Mountain King. Mountain King does get invisibility from the sword. More Blizzard from the Archmage. ToD continuing to damage all of the army of Hitman that he can. Down to 52 army, just like that. 49 supply to 52 supply. A lot of damage onto the Torn Chieftain, but the Torn Chieftain has an Ankh. Needs to be careful not to focus fire the Torn Chieftain incorrectly. More Blizzard onto the Kodo Beasts, which are digesting and almost have finished digested a Spellbreak.
A player's forces are under attack.
Does get a grunt kill, but it is denied by Hitman. Torn Chieftain very close and closing in on level 6. Kodo Beast has fallen. Not much army left for ToD. 26 supply to 49 supply. 47 supply now for Hitman. Hitman with the big-time advantage right now, has the Expo, has the Torn Chieftain that's faster than the Archmage, gonna get the Archmage kill, that's level 6, and that's very likely GG. Well played to Hitman, takes ESL Cup 91.